homework. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, well, last Saturday we began with the comparative adjectives.
Yes.
First of all, as you can see, we're just reviewing adjectives, but we're using them in a comparative form. So here it says complete the chart below with the comparative form of the adjectives in the box. We have three columns. Column number 1 says adjective plus ER or IER. Second column, more, less, plus adjective. And the last column, irregular adjectives. So we're gonna do it in order. Let me look for it. Okay, for example, we have big is bigger, column number 1. Let's continue with bad.
Worse. Worse.
Worse. Worse.
Worse.
Where does it go?
Irregular adjective.
Yes, irregular adjectives. We have worse. And okay, let's continue. Boring. Boring. Where?
Bored?
No, it says boring. Column 1, 2, or 3.
3.
Irregular. It says boring. For example, you said worse is here. This is worse.
Boring.
Boring, yes, here.
Boring.
Boring, yes. Yes, because we can say more boring, less boring.
Okay.
So now let's see, let's continue. Then we have busy.
Busier. Busier.
Busier. Where? Which column?
1.
Yes. Give me a second, my mouse. Okay, it says busier, like this. Then we have cheap.
More cheap.
More cheap. What do you say, Aiden? Is it correct, more cheap?
Yes.
Yes, it's correct, more cheap?
Yes.
Do you remember the rules for the comparative adjectives? Remember, we have long adjectives and short adjectives. With the short adjectives, we're going to use ER or IER. Long adjectives, we're going to use more or less. So cheap. So first of all, cheap. Is it a long adjective or a short adjective?
Short.
Short. So what do we need?
Cheap. Cheap.
Only cheap?
No.
Teacher.
What do we need to add?
ER.
Yes. Cheaper. Okay, like this, cheaper. Then we have convenient.
More convenient.
Yes, we can say more or less. More or less. Cool.
Cooler. Cooler.
Yes.
Difficult.
Okay, correct. Then it says difficult.
More difficult.
More.
Yes, more difficult. Or it could be less difficult. Like this. Then we have easy.
More.
Mhm. What do you say?
More.
Easier.
Easier. Correct. We have easier. Expensive.
More.
More
More.
expensive or less expensive? Okay, more expensive, less expensive. Correct. Fun.
And more.
Mhm.
Yes, but this one is an irregular, okay?
Mm.
Remember, there is an irregular adjective. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Words. Give me a second. This was boring. It was convenient. Convenient. Okay, like this. And we have good,
No.
gooder,
No.
More.
Better. Better.
better. Yes, that is the comparative form. Better. Okay. We
Ya, creo que ya.
have hard,
Heather.
harder,
Father.
Father.
harder. Yes. Okay, important.
More or less
More.
important.
More less.
No sé cómo hacerle para.
It's important. Okay, more or less important. Okay, interesting.
More or less.
Mhm. More.
Or less interesting.
Ahora no sale mi imagen.
Okay. Have new.
Irregular adjective.
Ya, pero ahora no sale mi cara.
Irregular. How do you say that?
Irregular adjective.
What do you have, Aide, Julio, for new? Julio.
No.
Yeah,
For new?
I am homework teacher.
I can hear you, Julio.
Boy,
For new?
um,
Aide?
No.
I don't know.
Never.
Never.
Yes, we can say never.
Oh.
Yes, we can say never. Okay, let's see. Who's next? Noisy.
Noisier.
Noisy. Okay, noisy. Okay, then we have, let's see, all.
Older.
Yes. Perfect. We have personal.
More or less.
More or less personal. Yes. Correct. Okay. Popular.
More
More
or
or
less.
less.
More or less popular. Let's see. Less popular. Correct. Okay, quick,
Quicker.
quicker. Yes. Quicker. Okay, slow.
Slower.
Slower.
Okay, then we have, bless you. Small.
Smaller.
Yes. And the last one, useful.
More.
More or less.
Less.
Hmm? Yes. More or less useful. Okay, so here we have all the adjectives. But before we continue with the rest of the homework, let's do an exercise. Remember, we learn how to use comparative, as the name says, in order to compare to things, to animals, to situations, to people, etc. For example, let's imagine that we can say, okay, let's use difficult. Mathematics is more difficult than biology, for example. English is easier than German. Okay? That is the way we're going to use the comparative adjectives. So I want you to choose 4 adjectives, okay, 4 adjectives, and I want you to write down 4 sentences, okay? Write down 4 sentences. And we're going to check together. Okay, choose 4 adjectives, and I want you to write down 4 sentences. Try to compare animals, things, people, situations, places, whatever you want to. 4 sentences, please.
Teacher,
Yes.
química, ¿cómo se dice en inglés?
Chemistry.
Está mal mi nombre.
It's chemistry.
Ingrésame.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Are you ready? Are you ready, Marla?
Yes.
Yes. Julio?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Aide, did you finish?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's start checking your sentences. Let's begin with Marla. Tell me your sentences, please.
Literature is busier than mathematics.
Uh-huh.
English is more important than other language.
Uh-huh.
And my mom's food is better than my dad's food.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's it. Okay, thank you. They were great. Okay, Aide, yours, please.
Ay, Dios. Acapulco is expensive.
Acapulco is what?
Expensive.
Is what is the comparative?
With, eso no lo puse. With Guadalajara.
With. We don't use with, Aide. What is the comparative form of expensive?
Ah, expensive.
What is the comparative form? Pay attention to the chart, Aide. What are the words that you need?
Expensive.
Remember, Aide, you are going to compare. Pay attention to the chart, to the headings. What are the words that you need?
Expensive.
What are the words that you need, Aide? We are comparing. Did you pay attention to Marla's? Yes, so what are the words that you need, Aide? We are comparing. Pay attention to the chart. I underline the words. Pay attention to the screen. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, so one more time. Acapulco is...
Acapulco is expensive.
Aide, pay attention to the chart. I want you to look at the screen, Aide. I underline the words. Pay attention to the screen. Can you see the words that I underline? Yes or no, Aide?
Yes.
Okay, tell me the words that I underline.
Personal, popular, also for.
Aide, listen. What are the words that I underline? At the screen.
Left.
I underline words. Can you see? I underline two words. They are here.
More
More and more and
expensive.
listen.
Less.
Okay, more and less. And what it says, we're going to use more or less plus the adjective because we are comparing. We're going to say more boring, less boring, more convenient, less convenient, and so on. Now tell me your example, Aide.
Okay. Acapulco, more expensive.
Acapulco is
Is more expensive for
we don't use
Guadalajara.
for. What is the other word that we use, Aide?
With
No, we don't use with.
less.
What is the other word that we use, Aide? Pay attention above. I have more or less, and there is another word. Can you see the example that I have?
Acapulco,
More
expensive.
Acapulco is
Acapulco is more expensive than Guadalajara.
It's just like that. Acapulco is more expensive than, etc. Remember, again, when you are going to compare something, you have to use the comparative adjective. In this case, it's more expensive. And we need to use the word than and the other thing that you're going to compare. Okay, another example like that?
The Mexico City.
We don't say the Mexico City. Mexico City.
Mexico City is more interesting than Acapulco.
Acapulco, okay. Another one?
The mathematics.
Don't say that. Okay, mathematics.
The mathematics.
Just mathematics.
Mathematics. Is more easier for me.
Is more easier. Pay attention to the chart. Is it correct to say more easier? Or just easier?
Easier.
It's easier.
Easier.
Is easier?
For that's
Than what?
That's me.
What is chemistry? Okay, chemistry, correct. Okay, Julio, your examples. Thank you.
Yeah. Mexico is more hot than Canada.
Is more hot. Is it correct to say more hot? Yes, it's correct, Julio.
The elephant.
Hey, Julio, again.
Elephant, yeah.
You say more hot. Is it correct to say more hot?
Hot in.
Pay attention to the adjective one more time. That was the homework. As you can see, we have a chart. If you pay attention to the first column, we have short adjectives.
Okay.
With short adjectives, we're going to use ER or IER. With long adjectives, we're going to use more or less. Pay attention to the word hot. Is it a long or a short adjective? Hot.
Hotter.
Yes. Okay, so one more time.
Mexico more hotter Canada or hotter. Mexico hotter Canada.
Mexico is hotter than Canada.
Okay.
Yes. Another example, Julio?
Elephant bigger more ant.
Bigger, more than. What is that?
Hormiga. What do you say?
But can you repeat again the adjective, please?
Elephant bigger more ant.
Is it correct to say bigger, more?
Less.
You're comparing an elephant. An elephant.
Is less.
An elephant is
Bigger.
bigger.
Less.
Why less? You're saying bigger
Or bigger than ant.
An ant. Yes. An elephant is bigger than an ant. Okay. And another example, Julio?
Yeah. My dog is smaller than Bonnie.
Okay, my dog is smaller than
My Bonnie.
your pony. Okay, correct. That's good. Judith, can you tell me 3 examples, please, using comparatives?
Sí. My cat is more noisier than, no. My cat is more noisier than dog.
No, that is incorrect.
No.
Pay attention to the adjective. Pay attention to the adjective. You're saying
Another sentence.
now try to use the same one. Judith, try to use the same one. Okay, my car is.
My cat is more noisier.
Pay attention one more time. Guys, I want you to pay attention to instructions, please, because since we started with the class, I'm repeating and repeating the same thing, and you are continue doing the same mistakes. Pay attention, please. We saw this last Saturday. We're using comparative adjectives. Pay attention to the chart because this was your homework. Okay, this was your homework. We have short adjectives and we have long adjectives. Pay attention to the chart. With short adjectives, we're going to use ER or IER, and remember, we need to use the word than to compare only. With the long adjectives, we're going to use more or less plus the adjective, like more boring, less boring, more convenient, less convenient, etc. Pay attention to the first column. It's just bigger, noisier, older, quicker, slower, and that's it. We don't use more, we don't use less, it's just the adjective. So one more time for this, my car is. Judith, my car is. Are you listening, Judith?
My cat is noisier
Noisier,
than dog.
than my dog. Okay, another example.
The stand measure. The stand measure is quicker. Is quicker than letter.
Okay, one more time. Instant messages.
Message is quicker. Quicker than.
But pay attention here, Judith. You're saying instant messages. That is plural. What do you need, is or are?
Are.
Are.
Instant messages are quicker than letters.
Quicker than letters. Another.
Another, the play volleyball. The play volleyball is fun than football soccer.
They play volleyball? No. Playing volleyball?
Playing is fun than
Okay.
football soccer.
Pay attention here. Fun is an irregular adjective. So playing volleyball is, we can say, more fun than
football soccer.
playing soccer.
Playing soccer.
Playing soccer, because we're comparing two things.
It's more fun than playing soccer.
More fun than playing soccer, okay? And that's it. Okay, so once again, try to remember that short adjectives, remember we need to use ER or IER only. With long adjectives, yes, we can use more, less, okay? And the adjective, and we have the irregular adjectives like worse, better, fun, okay? And that's it. Now let's continue with the second part of the homework. Just let me erase this. Yes. Okay, exercise B says complete the sentences with the comparative form of the adjectives. You have the words in parentheses. Number 1, postcards are slower than email. Number 2, Marla?
Cell phone service is more expensive than regular phone service.
Correct. Number 3, Heide? Turn on your audio, Heide.
Le estaba diciendo así.
Audio. 3.
Instant messaging is easier than regular phone service.
Where are you? Where in number 3? Heide. Read again.
Ay, de veras.
Okay, one more time.
Instant messaging is easier than text messaging.
Messaging. Okay, number 4, Julio.
Email is good, but instant messaging.
Where are you? Number 4.
No es it email.
Julia, you are the number 4.
I think teachers are.
No lo veo. You're not paying attention, Julio. You're doing another thing. Okay, continue with it, number 4, please.
I think e-cars are more convenient than regular cars.
Okay, Marla, number 5.
To me, regular photos are nicer than digital photos.
Yes, number 6, Heide.
I think
John
Mile is
Mail?
even more fun.
More fun?
More?
I don't see fun, Heide. Number 6.
About?
Try to use the comparative form, Heide. I think
I think your mind is even for more
What is the comparative form of bad, Aide?
fun, no?
Fun?
Fun.
Why fun, Aide? It says bad in parentheses.
War.
What is the comparative form of bad, Aide?
War.
Who did? Quiet, please, who did? I want her to do it.
What?
Okay, can you see? When we're checking the homework, I realize who studies, who doesn't study, who does the homework, who doesn't do the homework. I can see who is doing the homework right now. So it's very important that you study, guys. You are here only one day a week, just one day. So try to take advantage of the time that you are here. And during the week, you have 6 days to do the homework. You have 6 days to study. You have 6 days to ask questions. Remember, we have the WhatsApp group. If you have questions, if you don't understand something about the grammar, you can send me a text message. Ask me, teacher, I don't understand this part. Teacher, can you explain me this, please, or something like that? I don't want you to wait until the next class to be here and start doing the homework. Because as you can see, we waste a lot of time checking the homework because you don't do it, because you don't study, because you are not paying attention. And it's like, I feel sometimes like we are repeating again the lesson because you didn't pay attention. So please try to make an effort to study, try to make an effort to do the homework. You have 6 days. You are here just one day, so please try to pay attention and try to do it. And remember, in the last evaluation, your grades, well, I mean your scores were really low. I remember like 2 evaluations ago, your scores were better. Last evaluation, your scores were a little bit down. So I would like to see in the next evaluation that your scores rise again. So this part is not difficult. As you can see, we're using adjectives. You already know a lot of adjectives. So this is, I think this lesson is not difficult. I think it's easier than the other ones that we have seen. So for example, we have bad. If you pay attention, to the exercise 1, we have a chart in exercise 1. I want you to pay attention to the part that says irregular adjectives. In that part of irregular adjectives, you have the comparative form of bad. Now tell me, Aide, what is the comparative form of bad?
What?
Worse. Okay, so tell me the sentence one more time. Number 6.
I think your mind is even worse than fun.
Yes, number 7. Julio.
Okay. It's important to have fun.
Okay, one more time. It's
Important.
what is the comparative, Julio?
Important.
What is the comparative? What do we need, Julio, once again?
To have fun than to have.
No, we're comparing, Julio. Again, look at the chart, exercise 8. We were practicing, Julio. You were doing some sentences, remember? What do we need to compare?
ER.
To important.
It's important, no? It's important.
Look at the chart again, exercise 8. Pay attention to the chart, pay attention to the headings.
Oh. It's more important to have phone than to have computer.
A computer. Number 8, Judy.
Sorry, teacher.
8.
8.
Online newspaper are better than regular newspaper.
Excellent. Okay, now let's move to the exercise. See, we have a conversation. Okay, this time it's gonna be Marla and Aide. Marla, what?
Lonnie. I want so Lonnie.
Lonnie. Okay, Marla, you're going to be Lonnie, and Aide, you're going to be down on. Okay, so let's start. 1, 2, 3.
I love my new laptop. It's so much good than my old
One more time.
desktop.
It's so much.
It's so much good.
Once again, Aide, we're using comparative. Comparative adjectives.
Ay, espérame, déjame ver si- Better
Yes.
than my old desktop.
But aren't regular computers cheaper than laptops?
Yes, but they are useful.
And what is the comparative?
Also more
Useful.
useful than laptops because you can take them to the library or on a trip.
Well, maybe laptops are cooler than desktop, but my big computer is quicker than most laptops.
Yeah, but it sure is a lot more heavy.
No, it's a short adjective.
Heavy.
Heavier.
Heavier.
It's heavier. It's a short adjective. Okay, so let's see. Number 2, we have desktops are less convenient. But here we're going to compare. Now, but we're going to do it together. This part. Okay, I want you to do it. We're going to compare. Pay attention. It says, look at the pictures and correct the sentences to match the pictures. Number 1, Jason thinks desktop computers are more convenient than laptops, okay? Then Jason thinks desktop computers are less convenient than laptops, okay? So we're going to use the opposite one. For example, number 2, Sandra thinks e-cars are more fun than postcards. Can you tell me a sentence here, Marla?
Sandra thinks e-cars are fun than vodka cars.
But pay attention to Sandra's face. Try to say the opposite. What is again? More
Easy?
fun. Pay attention.
Easier?
More fun. And the opposite of more fun?
Worse? Horse?
Try to use the same adjective. Pay attention again to the example. In here, let me underline. Here. Here we have a more convenient, okay? But if you pay attention to the picture, more, no,
Delayed.
less convenient. So Sandra thinks e-cards are more fun than postcards.
Delayed.
So e-cards are
Less than
yes,
photographs.
yes, are less fun than. So Sandra thinks e-cards are less fun than postcards. So you're going to write down the same information, but instead of using more, you're going to use less. And it's the same. Sandra thinks e-cards are less fun than postcards. So once again, remember, you're going to change only that word. Instead of more, you're going to use less. And that's it, okay? Well, now let's continue with the second, okay, with this one. Okay, here. Okay, number 3. Okay, Robert's grandparents think instant messaging is easier than phone calls. Who wants to say this? Robert's grandparents think instant messaging is easier than phone calls.
Is more complicated or less?
Okay, we have easier. What is the opposite of easy? What is the opposite of easy?
Complicated? Difficult.
Difficult. So Robert's grandparents think instant messaging is
More difficult?
yes, more difficult than phone calls. Correct? So we're going to change easier and we're going to use more difficult. Is only the adjective. Robert's grandparents think instant messaging is more difficult than phone calls. Yes, are you ready?
Yes.
Number 4, Jay and Sanji think video conferences are more boring than long business meetings.
Busier?
Less interesting.
Less interesting. No, we're saying more boring.
Busier?
We're using more. We're going
Less?
to less.
Okay.
Jay and Sanji think video conferences are less.
Less
Boring.
boring.
Yes. So we're going to change more by less. Instead of more, use less.
Than long business meeting.
Are less boring than long business meetings.
Are less boring.
Less boring is the opposite. Are less boring.
Than
Long business meetings.
than long business meeting.
Yes. Video conferences are less boring than long business meetings. Correct. Okay, we're going to finish exercise 3. Okay, here it says disagree with the statements. Exercise 1 says, I think VCRs are harder to use than DVD players. Really, I think VCRs are easier to use than DVD players. Again, here we're going to give a different opinion. Okay, for example, in number 1, we're using harder. Harder, remember, is similar with difficult. So So the opposite of harder is
Easier.
easy. Yes.
Easier.
Number 2, to me, regular cameras take better
Picture
pictures
and cell phone
than cameras.
Well,
So what can you say?
well, I think regular cameras take wait,
Whoa.
cooler pictures than self cameras.
Yeah, there is another one. What did you say for this?
To me, regular cameras take worse picture than cell phone machines.
Yes, we're going to change only the adjective. Words.
Cell phone cameras.
Remember that we are disagreeing. We're giving a different opinion. So, really or well, regular cameras take worse
Worse
pictures
picture
than cell phone cameras.
than cell phone camera.
Yes, worse.
3.
Easier.
Yes.
Yes, easier,
Well, easier?
easier, and noisier.
Okay, here it says, I think radios are noisier than CD players. What do you think?
Easier.
Noisier.
Easier?
And being radios are less easier
Less easier?
than CD players. No?
Less easier. Now, we're comparing here. What is the comparative form? Is noisy.
Noisy.
Noisier. What is the opposite of noisier?
Callada, ¿no?
And we're going to change this.
Difficult. No?
Difficult. Pay
Fun,
attention. Noisy.
fun,
Mm-hmm.
fun than CD players.
What is the opposite of noisy?
Quiet.
Quiet. Okay, so
Quiet.
field radios are
Quiet.
Quiet than CD players.
Very quiet.
quieter. Yes? Than CD players. Yes?
It's difficult to understand a voice email message.
Yes. See, number 4, it's difficult. Yes?
Difficult.
Yes. We're going to
More
change.
difficult, no?
It's more difficult.
Okay.
Yes, it's more difficult to understand voicemail message than a written one. Okay, let's see. Number 5, it's hard when your cell phone doesn't work, but it's worse when your
It's
computer.
better. It's better.
It's hard. Remember, we're going to change only the comparative form. We have only one comparative.
It's better. The word contrary is better.
Okay, here it says it's hard when your cell phone doesn't work, but it's worse when your computer is broken.
Better.
Worse.
Better, more.
It could be, but it's better when your computer is broken. Mm-hmm.
The word
Worse is
Useful.
phone.
But it's
Phone.
so. What is your opinion? Is better when your computer is broken?
No. Is quicker, no.
Okay, so try to give your opinion. It's hard when your cell phone doesn't work, but it's worse when your computer is broken. So what is your opinion?
It's header. Header.
Is what?
Header.
Harder.
Harder.
Yes, it will be harder. When your computer is broken. Number 6, in my opinion, text messages are more popular than phone calls.
More convenient.
Less popular.
Less popular, yes,
Oh,
less popular.
Are less popular
Yes, less popular.
than phone call to keep in touch.
Yes, less popular, just like that. Okay. Well, now let's continue here. Okay, let me see. Okay, remember we're talking about comparative adjectives, okay? So once again, let's do this. Let's review adjectives. I'm gonna give you, let me think. I'm going to give you 1 minute, please, 1 minute. No, 2 minutes. Pay attention. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, and in 2 minutes, I want you to write down as many adjectives as you know. Yes, like big, small, cold, hot, etc. Okay? I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to write down as many adjectives as you know. Okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes, on a piece of paper, okay? You're going to write down as many adjectives as you remember. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so let's begin right now. I have the time, 2 minutes.
Repítelo.
Yes.
Este,
I
As
want to write sentences,
I said adjectives.
activities.
Okay, go ahead. You have 2 minutes. Okay, you have 10 seconds.
I don't remember.
Okay, stop. 2 minutes. The time is over. Okay, so let's see. Let's begin with Marla. Marla, can you tell me your adjectives, please?
big,
Uh-huh.
quiet, small, short, tall, busy,
Busy,
noisy, hardworking,
hardworking, uh-huh.
and smart, interesting, and cool.
Okay, I counted 12.
YouTube.
Yes, 12. So let's see, Julio.
Oh, big,
Which one?
bigger,
Big,
big, small, bad, fun, good, busy,
busy.
old, busy, old, slower, easier, and worse, better.
Okay, 11. You were close to Marla, okay. Aide?
Big, small, beautiful, good, smart, interesting, slower, easy, y that's it.
And which one?
Slower, easy.
Okay, I count 5. And Judith?
Bigger, bigger, busier, smaller, easier, harder, lower, color, boring, popular, personal, difficult.
Okay, 11. You are like Julio, correct. Okay, just to finish with this, let's see, Marla, tell me one example with one of your adjectives comparing. Using comparative adjectives, please. One example.
An example, my, well, my, my cousin is smaller than me.
Okay, correct. Julio, another example.
Canada is cooler, more than, no, is cooler than Mexico.
Yes, Canada is cooler than Mexico. Okay, Aide.
Yes.
Bueno, ya me perdí, Estrella. Ya me salí.
Okay, Aide.
Ven.
De
Es que ay, Dios mío.
my homework is interesting.
Is interesting. We're comparing, Aide. What do you need?
Is more interesting
It's more interesting.
than than my
Mine.
not
Now try to compare your homework with another thing. Or try to use another example. You can think about music, TV shows, singers, hobbies.
Crucials.
Yeah. Example is more interesting than enamorándonos.
Okay, correct. Thank you. And who did one example, please? Your audio. Your audio is off. Who did? Your audio is off. Who did?
For me, it's difficult write letter than talk for cell phone.
Okay, is more.
It's more difficult.
Is more difficult.
Write letter than speak for cell phone.
Okay, so try to make the sentence. Writing letters is more difficult than talking on the phone.
Talking.
Writing letters is more difficult than talking on the phone.
Talking for the phone.
Yes, okay, thank you. So let's continue with the student book. Okay, so let's continue to page 99. We have the page 99. Okay. Once again, pay attention to the grammar chart. The grammar chart is about comparative adjectives, remember. And we have short adjectives, long adjectives. Here it says short adjectives. With short adjectives, we're going to use ER at the end. For example, instead of quick, we have quicker. Easy, easier. Okay, email is quicker than regular mail and it's easier too. Instead of nice, we're going to say nicer. It's nicer to get a real car than an e-car. So here we're using, once again, short adjectives. With long adjectives, we're going to use the word more or less, and then the adjective. For example, letters are more personal than email. We have a long adjective, so we're going to use only the word more, and that's it. Letters are more personal than email. Video conferences are less expensive than trips. And here it says we have some exceptions. For example, good, we don't say gooder. The comparative of good is better. The comparative form of bad is worse. Example, webcams are better than regular phone calls. Spam is worse than regular junk mail. And then we have here some examples: slow, slower, nice, nicer, easy, easier, big, bigger. They are short adjectives. Have another exception, fun. Even when it's a short adjective, we're going to say more fun. Okay, this is one exception, more fun. This is just a grammar rule, okay? Do you have questions about the grammar chart, guys?
No.
Okay, let's move to the exercise A. I think we didn't do this part last Saturday, right?
No.
We didn't do, okay, so we're going to complete this exercise. It says complete the sentences with the comparative form of the adjectives. The arrow up means more and the arrow down means less. For example, number 1, email is cheaper than regular mail. Okay, so let's complete these sentences, please, using the adjectives in parentheses with the comparative form. Okay, so let's do it, please. Exercise A. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes, excellent. Okay, so let's see number 2. Aide.
Voy. A ver. Cards are
E-cards.
cards are harder
Yes,
to open than real cards.
thank you. Number 3, Julio.
It's more convenient to send a letter than an email.
No, pay attention to the instructions, Julio. As you can see, we have an arrow. What it says here on this part. The arrow up means more. The arrow down means less.
It's
Y
less?
So one more time.
It's less convenient to send a letter than an email.
Yes, less convenient. Thank you. Number 4, Judith.
Email is good, but instant messaging is better.
Better. Thank you. Number 5, Marla.
Webcam calls are nicer than phone calls.
Yes. Aiden, number 6.
text messages
Messages.
funnier than phone call.
Okay, one more time. Text messages.
Text messages are funnier,
Funnier.
Funner.
We saw that in the grammar chart.
more more fun
Yes, more fun.
than phone calls.
Phone calls. Julio, number 7.
It's terrible. It's terrible to lose your cell phone, but it's worse to lose your laptop.
Yes. And number 8, Judith.
Cell phone calls are more expensive than regular phone calls.
More expensive.
More expensive.
Once
Less,
again, pay attention to the instructions. What happened with the
less
arrow? Arrow up
expensive.
is more.
Less.
Less.
Less expensive than regular phone call.
Yes, less. Correct. Remember that we have the arrow. Okay, questions, guys? Again?
No.
No. Well, let's continue with the exercise 3. It says speaking naturally. It says linking. Well, if you pay attention, we have 3 sentences. And pay attention to this part. We have a line below with email. It's easier to keep in touch. Can you see we have a line below these phrases? Less expensive, get a real car than an e-car. We have this car. Okay, with these lines below, we are trying to say that we're going to link, okay, both ideas. We are going to imagine that we have these words together. For example, number 1 with email. We have 2 words with email, okay? We have two words, with email. But as we can see, we have a line below these two words. That means that instead of saying with email, we're going to imagine that we have only one word, with email. Okay, let's imagine that they are together with email.
With
Then,
email,
then on the second part, we have two other words. It's easier. We have two. Once again, we're going to imagine that we have only one. It's easier. Okay, so let's repeat. It's easier.
it's easier.
Yeah.
Okay, once again, it's easier.
It's easier.
Okay, so then we have keep in touch. I mean, keep in. We have two. Once again, imagine that we have only one word, keeping.
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 Okay, so now let's repeat with email. Repeat with email.
With email,
It's easier
it's
It's
easier
to keep in touch.
to
to
keep
keep
in
in
touch.
touch.
To keep in touch.
To keep
To
in
keep in
touch.
touch.
Okay. Do you notice the difference? Okay, so now let's continue with the second sentence. We have messages. Now one more time, let's imagine that they are together. Text messages are, repeat,
Text
Text
messages
messages
are
are
less expensive
less
less
expensive
expensive
than phone calls.
than
than
phone.
phone calls.
One more time. We have less and we have expensive. Imagine that they are together. Less expensive.
Less expensive.
Less expensive.
So now together. Text messages are
Text
Text
messages are
messages
than
less expensive
less
less
expensive
expensive
than phone calls.
than
than
phone
phone.
calls.
Excellent. Number 3, we have get and we have a. Let's imagine that they are together. Get a.
Get a.
Okay. It's nicer to get a real car
It's nicer to get a
Nicer
real
to get a real card
than an e-car.
than an
than an
Okay.
e-car.
Imagine that these words are together. We have than, and, e. We have 3. Let's imagine that they are like together. Okay. Than an e-car.
Than
than
an
an
e-car.
e-car.
Correct. One more time. Than an e-car.
Than
Than
an
an
e-car.
e-car.
Yes, that's linking because we are linking the idea. So one more time. Listen.
Than-
It's nicer to
Than
get a
an
real
e-car.
car than an e-car. Repeat.
It's nicer to get a real car than an e-car.
Yes.
Get a real card than an e-car.
Now let's start from the beginning, since the beginning. With email, it's easier to keep in touch with people. Repeat.
With email, it's easier to keep in touch with people.
Only Marla and the rest of you, once again. With email, it's easier to keep in touch with people.
With email,
Yes. Text messages are less expensive than phone calls.
Text messages are less expensive than phone
Than
calls.
phone calls.
Excellent. It's nicer to get a real car than an e-car.
It's nicer to get a real
Nicer
car
to get a real card than an e-card.
And you see the difference? Because most of the time when we are learning how to speak English, we learn like this. It's nicer to get a real car than an e-car. So we are like pausing. Now, with this one, we speak like more fluently, okay? So once again, let's do it for the last time, okay? We're gonna start with number 1. With email, it's easier to keep in touch with people, okay? Repeat.
we need
It's easy to keep in
people.
Correct. Text messages are less expensive than phone calls.
Text messages are less expensive than phone calls.
Yes. It's nicer to get a real car than an e-car.
It's nicer to get a real car than an e-car.
Excellent. You're really good. Okay, now let's move to this part. Okay, in exercise B, as you can see, we have more examples. We have some questions. One more time, as you can see, we have some words underlined. In question number 1, we have good at. So it's gonna be good at.
Good at.
Okay, so listen. Are you good at keeping in touch with people? Let's repeat.
Are you good at keeping in
What
touch with people?
People.
people?
You're
Okay.
good at.
Number 2, how do you keep in touch with friends and family?
How
How
do
do
you
you
keep
keep
in
in
touch
touch
with
with
friends
friends and
And
family?
and family?
Number 3, do you use a cell phone every day?
Do you
They
use a
Do you
cell
use a
phone
cell
every day?
phone every
every
day?
day.
Excellent. Number 4, do you ever send or get e-cards?
Do
Do
you
Do
you
get
you
send or
ever
get e-cards?
get a
Yes. Number 5, how often do you get instant messages or text messages?
How
how
often
How
do you
often
get
do
it?
you get
instant
instant
messages
messages
or
or
text
text
messages?
messages?
Excellent. Can you see? You did it different this time.
Is
That's good. Okay, now what we're going to do, you're going to ask and answer these questions. Okay, try to use your personal information. Okay, so let's begin with Marla. Marla, ask question 1 to Aide, please.
Are you good at keeping in touch with people?
eh, mm,
Uh-huh.
yes,
Yes. Yes, what?
yes, I am.
Yes, I am. Try to complete.
I, I keep in touch with my
Mhm. Yes.
mother,
Okay. Yeah. I keep in touch with my mom.
with my mom, in my father.
Uh, for example, you can say something like this, I did. Just your answer is correct. Yes, I am. I keep in touch with my mom, and you can explain how. For example, I
Uh-huh.
keep in touch with my mom by phone calls, by text messages, by email. So try to complete your answer, Aiden.
Yes, I am. I keep in touch with text message
Okay, with my mom
with my mom
by
by a text message.
text messaging.
Text message.
Text messaging. Okay, thank you, Aide. I like your answer. It's a really good answer. Okay, Aide, question to Julio, please.
How do you keep in touch with friends and family?
Uh, yes, yes, I am.
No, we don't say yes, I am, Julio. Pay attention. How do you keep in touch with friends and family? The question is how. We don't say yes, we don't say no. It's an explanation question.
Yes,
No, we don't say yes, we don't say no. How do you keep in touch with friends and family? What do you do?
for cell phone.
Okay,
I keep with with cell phone. Um,
uh, once
video, video.
pay attention
¿Cómo
here.
se dice
Look at the
videollamada?
screen. Look at the screen, Julio. I keep in touch with friends and family by, and you can start explaining text messaging, video conferencing, emails,
Text messaging.
by text messaging. Okay, Julio, once again, repeat your answer, please. I keep in touch.
I keep in touch with friends and family.
By,
I keep in touch text messages.
I keep in touch text messages. No, try to order your ideas, Julio. Once again, I keep in touch with friends and family. Okay, try to repeat.
Um,
I keep in touch with friends and family.
I keep in touch with friends and family
By.
by
Uh-huh. What do you use?
text and
Text.
phone calls.
Okay, phone calls.
Phone
Only.
calls and text messages.
Text messaging. Okay, thank you, Julio. Julio, ask question 3 to Judith, please.
Okay. Do you use a cell phone every day?
Do you? No, I don't. I use cell phone when it's necessary.
Okay, thank you, Judith. Now, Judith, question 4 to Marla, please.
Do you ever send out yet e-cards?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I never do. See? I never did.
I never, you have the verbs. I never
Sent.
send
I never sent e-cards.
e-cards. Okay, and Marla, question 5 to Aide, please.
How often? See?
How often?
How often do you get instant messages or text messages?
I usually instant messages.
I usually, what is the verb? I usually.
Often.
I need you to say the verb. Usually, it's correct. I usually.
Get.
Get.
I usually get instant messages. With my friends.
From my friends.
From my friends.
Yes, from my friends. Correct. Thank you. Okay, so I guess, well, this is the last exercise of the lesson A. So I guess I have an exercise here. Let me look for the example. Yes. Okay, well, here I have an exercise. This is about comparative, okay, adjectives. And it says fill in the blanks below to complete the sentences. For example, number 1, we have summer, winter, and the adjective is hot. Example, summer is hotter than winter. Now let's continue with the number 2.
Ahí están chicas las letras, no se ven.
What?
Las letras están muy chicas.
How do you say that in English, Judith?
The letter is more,
very small.
More,
is or are?
More,
are, yes.
Are.
Dinosaurio.
The letter are
like my hair.
Yeah.
Small. Is small. Are small.
Are small. So pay attention to number 2.
Igual.
We are going to compare football with bowling, okay? Football with bowling. And the adjective is exciting. So Marla, can you tell me an example? Number 2.
Hey, football is bowling.
Bowling. Pay attention.
Football is exciting.
We
Football
have two sports.
is exciting than
Exciting or
bowling.
exciting?
Exciting.
Okay, one more
Exciting.
time.
Than
Football.
bowling. Football is exciting than bowling.
What is the comparative form?
Oh,
More.
okay.
More.
Are
Uh,
exciting than
It's more.
bowling.
exciting.
Yes, football is more exciting than bowling.
More.
Correct.
More.
Number 3, we're going to compare Asia with Europe. The adjective is big. Let's see. Marla, number 3.
And Asia
Asia,
is Asia is bigger than Europe.
excellent. Okay, Aide. Let's compare weekends versus weekdays. The comparative is good. The adjective that you're going to use is good.
Weekends is better.
Is weekends
Um, are
are
better
better
than weekdays.
weekdays. Excellent. Julio, we have cats versus lions. You need small.
Uh, mm, cat uh, smaller than lions.
Okay, cats. What do you need? Is or are?
Are
Are
cats are smaller than lions.
smaller.
Smaller than lions.
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 Lions. Okay.
Lions.
Judith, you're going to compare John versus
Young is
Stuart. It's busy.
young is
Busier,
than Stewart.
Stuart. Yes.
Stewart.
Marla, horses versus cows. Fast.
Horses are faster than cows.
Excellent. Aide, my uncle, my aunt, and funny.
My uncle is
Funnier,
funnier
funnier.
than my
Excellent. Julia, this movie, that movie, interesting.
This movie more interesting that movie. This movie more interesting.
more.
Try to use the verb be, Julio. This movie is.
And this movie is more interesting that movie
Than that
movie.
that movie. Okay, number 10, who did? The sun, the moon, and fire.
11.
11, yes.
The sun,
The sun,
is farther
farther,
than moon.
the moon.
The moon.
Okay, number 12, Marla. I, my friend, and tired.
I am. I'm is tired.
I'm
Tired?
is.
I'm tired.
I'm, and the comparative?
And then
What is the comparative?
tired.
You have tired. What do you need?
Is er.
No.
I'm tired than my friend.
More, yes. Who is correct? I'm more
tired
tired
than my friend.
than my friend. Yes.
Pero es corto, ¿o no?
But it says tired.
Okay.
Yes, more. Remember that we have some exceptions. Okay. Number 13, I bet.
Tiger?
In giraffes. Dangerous.
tigers
Yes,
are
tigers.
are dangerous than
We are comparing. What do you need to compare?
uh, the tiger
Tiger.
tigers are dangerous than giraffe.
You need another word, Aide. We have a long adjective. What do you need before?
Um,
We have a long adjective. What do you need?
Tigers, tigers
Are,
Tigers.
are
tigers are more dangerous
Yes.
than giraffes.
giraffe.
Giraffes.
Giraffes. Giraffes.
Yes,
Yes.
more dangerous. Correct. Thank you, Julio. Okay. Who did number 14?
January,
January.
January is older,
Uh-huh.
is colder,
It's colder.
colder than August.
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 Correct. And Marla, 15?
My grandfather is older than father.
My father.
My father. Okay.
Okay. Once again, questions about this part?
Why tired is not er?
ajá.
Because the adjective is like that, tired.
Tired.
Yes, it's more
Porque no,
tired. It's like
porque no
fun.
termina en consonante, ¿verdad?
And it's like fun. Yes, fun. It's more fun. We don't say funner. It's more fun.
Okay.
Remember, we have some exceptions like good, better, bad,
Bad, worse.
worse. Uh-huh. So we have some exceptions just like that.
Okay.
Well, okay. With this exercise, we finish with the lesson A. In lesson A, we learn how to use comparative adjectives. Once again, remember, with short adjectives, we're going to use the ending ER or IER plus the particular than. With long adjectives, remember, we're going to use more or less before the adjective, okay? And we have some exceptions like fun, more fun, good, better, bad, worse. Do you have questions about the lesson A? Questions about lesson A?
I don't have question, teacher.
Okay. So before starting with lesson B, okay, here I have some questions for later, before going to the book. I had two questions. First, do you ever have problems when you're trying to call someone or when you're trying to have a phone conversation? And number two, what are some possible problems? Okay, let's think about phone conversations, okay? Phone conversations. Once again, the question, do you ever have problems when you're trying to call someone?
No. No, yes. Yes, yes, yes. The signal.
Yes. It's
Connection.
busy. Yes. Busy signal. What else? You said the connection. Sometimes we have a bad connection. Another problem that you have when you're trying to call someone?
Yeah. Sometimes the how do you say señal?
Signal.
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 Sometimes signal.
Marla says that
Bad connection.
we have a bad connection sometimes.
It's a lot of noisy.
Yes, it's noisy.
Or silence.
Or maybe the person is not at home. Yes.
Yeah.
You want to call a friend and the person is not at home.
Yes.
Yes. Or it happens sometimes that you want to call a friend, but maybe you get the wrong number. Yes. You don't have the, yes, you get the wrong number. Okay.
Yes.
Number 3 says brainstorm specific reasons to call someone. What are some reasons why you call someone? Why?
I call my mom from get up to me in the high school.
Get up to me. To pick you up?
¿Mande?
To pick you up? From high school. Okay. Another reason to call someone?
With my mom. Or I cook.
Why do you call your mom?
I cook in my mom. How do you say? Me va diciendo.
She's saying what?
She's saying cook with the water in the ¿cómo se llama? Egg and that's it.
No, I don't understand. What are you trying to say, Aide? Try to explain it again. Tell me a reason why you call your mom. Or the reason why you call a person.
I got my hunt in the night. My mom sometimes call. How do you say estoy lejos?
When I'm far away.
I'm far away in my home.
So what you mean is that you call your mom to say that you are on your way home? Yes or no?
I'm staying in working.
So you call your mom to say that you are working?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. So these are some reasons why we call a person. Now let's move to the lesson B. At the lesson B. Okay, lesson B, it's called On the Phone. It says, listen and read. What problems does John have getting through to Sandra? I'm gonna play the audio. Try to listen carefully. Remember, if you have your earphones, try to put on your earphones. Remember that the audios are a little bit low, so try to put on your earphones and try to listen carefully. And at the same time, you're going to follow this conversation in your books, okay? So let me look for the audio.
Page 100.
Listen.
On the phone. 1. Building vocabulary. A. Listen and read. What problems does John have getting through to Sandra?
Hello, company.
Could I speak to Sandra Bell, please?
One moment, please.
2.
Sandra Bell is on the phone. Please leave a message.
Hi, Sandra. This is John. I'll be back at the office. 3.
Sandra Bell.
Hi, Sandra. It's John. Did you get my message?
Yes, I think so. Oh, hold on. I have another call. Call me later, okay?
Village Bakery. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I have the wrong number. No problem. 5.
Hello?
Hi, Sandra. What?
John? I can't hear you. We have a bad connection. Call me back on my office phone.
6.
Sandra Bell.
Sandra, listen. My boss has 2 tickets to... Now, come on.
Okay. Well, at the beginning it says, what problems does John have getting through to Sandra? So what are the problems? Tell me.
Right.
Huh?
The problem is the
Problem is
her
the
cell phone no funciona.
the
Okay, his cell phone is not working. What else?
no having communication.
They
The
don't have, but try to tell me about the problems.
Sandra's cell phone have a bad connection.
Okay, her cell phone has a bad connection. That is one, and then?
There is wrong the numbers.
Yes, he's got the wrong number. Another one?
Cut off.
Yes, they got cut off.
Cut off.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's practice this conversation. Conversation 1, let me see. Aide, you're going to be the receptionist. And Marla, you are going to be John. Okay, go ahead.
I'll speak to Sandra Bells, please.
Sun company.
Marla,
Call speak to Sandra Bell, please.
One moment, please.
okay, conversation 2. Okay, thank you. Conversation 2. Marla, you are the voicemail, and who did John?
Sandra Bells is on the phone. Please leave a message.
Hi, Sandra. This is John. Call me back at the office.
Thank you. Conversation 3. Aide, you are Sandra, and Marla, John.
Sandra Bell.
Hi, Sandra. It's John. Did you get my message?
Oh, yes, I think so. Oh, hold on. I have another call. Call me later. Okay?
Thank you. Conversation 4. Who did? You are the man, and Aide, you are John.
Village Bakery.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I have the wrong number.
No problem.
Okay, conversation 5. Marla, you are Sandra, Aide, John.
Hello.
Teacher, Julio?
Is coming in.
Hello.
Hi, Sandra. Guess
what?
Guess what? Es que se borroso.
Hello,
Sorry,
John.
teacher.
I can't hear you. We have a bad connection. Call me back on my office phone.
And conversation 6. Okay. Marla, you are Sandra. Again, who did John?
Sandra Bell.
Sandra, listen, my boss has 2 tickets too. Oh, we got a group of
Cut off. Yes, excellent.
I love.
So these are the problems. Okay, guys, well, let's see. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Well, we're going to stop here for a moment. It's time for your break. We're going to continue after it. So remember, we have 20 minutes. So see you at 10, no, it's 10:02, 10:25, okay? 10:25, we're going to continue here. Okay, guys? Then,
Uh-huh.
well, before going to the break, we listen and we practice with this conversation. And we were talking about some problems that John had trying to reach for Sandra. And you were saying some ideas, some examples. So now let's continue with the exercise B. Exercise B says, find these expressions in the phone conversations and write them in the chart. Then practice the conversations with a partner. Here it says, what can you say when you hear a lot of noise on the line? What can you say when you start a voicemail message? What can you say when you ask to speak to someone? What can you say when you call a stranger by mistake? And what can you say when you want someone to return your call? So what you're going to do, you're going to look for the answers to these questions. The answers are here in the conversation. So look for the answers and you're going to complete the chart, okay? The answers are expressions. Okay, so let's do it, please. Exercise B.
Okay.
We are doing the exercise B, Julio.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Me faltan dos.
Okay, continue. Okay, ready? Yes, Ide, are you ready? Julio?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay, let's check. Number one is, what can you say when you hear a lot of noise on the line? What is the expression?
Got off.
It says when you hear a lot of noise
Call
on
me later.
another thing.
Eh, mm,
No. Another option? What else do you have?
A lot of noisy in horse.
But what is the expression that they are using?
A lot of noisy. Nose in horse.
No,
No?
no. Pay attention. When you hear a lot of noise, what is the expression that you use?
Call me back on my phone.
Call me back on my phone. No, that is when you're busy. It's here in the reading.
Got good off.
What do you
Is bad.
have, Maide? Number one, what can you say when you hear a lot of noise on the line?
I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you. And there is another expression. Continue reading.
Is bad
Uh,
connection.
It says, we have a bad connection. That is the number 5. We have a bad connection. Can you see?
Have
Sandra says, I can't hear you. We have a bad connection. Okay, that is the number 1.
connection.
Okay, number 2. What can you say when you start a voicemail message?
Call me back, please.
Listen, when you start voicemail message.
Connection. Another expression. I don't know. I don't know the important.
please leave a message.
What?
Please leave a message.
No, there is another one.
Did you get my message?
No, when you start, oh, I'm sorry. I click on the wrong button. It's here. Okay, when you start.
Hi.
It's kind of confusing. Yeah, this is hi, and you say your name. Hi, fulanito, fulanita. This is Nancy. This is Julio. This is Judith, etc. That's what you say. Hi, the name of the person. This is, and then you introduce yourself. That's what you say. It's starting a voicemail message. Huh? Yes. Number 3. What can you say when you ask to speak to someone?
Could I speak to Aida, please?
Yes, could I speak to? And the name of the person, correct? Could I speak to? And the name of the person, please. That is the answer. Could I speak to? The name of the person, please.
Yes.
You need to be polite. The next one. What can you say when you call a stranger by mistake?
I had the wrong number.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I have the wrong number. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I have the wrong number. That's it. Okay. And the last one. What can you say when you want someone to return your call?
I mean later.
I am busy.
Later.
I tell you to call back.
Call me later. Call me back. Those are the expressions that we can use. Call me later or call me back. Okay. Well, now let's move to the next page, the exercise 2. In exercise 2, we have another conversation. Remember that John is trying to reach Sandra, but in the first conversation, had a lot of problems trying to reach Sandra. So here in the conversation 2, John, at the end, found Sandra, so they're having a conversation, and the question is, why was John calling? Well, I'm gonna play the audio, listen carefully to it, and follow the conversation in your books. Okay. We're going to find out the reason why he was trying to reach Sandra. Okay, listen.
Building like this. Why was John calling? Finally, it's hard to get a hold of you.
You're not that easy to reach
You spend a lot more time on the phone than I do.
because I get more calls.
You just talk more. I was calling before. Boss had 3 tickets to the state concert tonight.
Oh, great. What time?
Well, play now. Give them to someone else.
Oh, no. Why didn't you send me a text message?
Okay, so why was John calling? What's the answer? Why was John calling?
He
Because
was
had free
hand free
tickets.
tickets to the Sting concert tonight.
Yes, and what happened to the tickets?
To the stand concert tonight.
Singing concert.
What happened to the tickets?
To the singing concert tonight.
What happened to the tickets?
Why didn't you send me a text message?
To send me a text message.
Listen to my question. What happened to the tickets? Are they going to the concert?
You watch.
Are they going to the concert?
They go the concert.
Yes, they are going to the concert.
Yes.
Yes, are you sure?
No.
He was.
You bought
His
3 times tickets. They bought.
His was what?
You both have free tickets.
No, you are not listening to my question. Listen, guys. Are they going to the concert?
He gave them to someone else.
So what is the answer?
Um,
Are they going to the concert tonight?
No.
Uh-huh.
no,
It's
Then
too late
some
now.
says,
It's too late now.
So tell me why. Tell me yes, why, or no, why not? Tell me. Mhm.
Yes.
Tell me why. I want to I want to listen to the reason why. Are they going to the concert tonight? If you say yes, why? If you say no, why not?
Yes. And it's too late now.
It is too late now. What is that? Okay, it's a simple question. It's very easy. Are they going to the concert tonight? Yes or no? And tell me why.
Um,
no. Well, it's too late now.
Why?
He have them to someone else.
He have or he gave?
He gave
Uh-huh.
them to someone else.
Yes, thank you. I think that was the answer. No, they are not going to the concert. Yes, can you see the reason why? Yes?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, are you paying attention? Julio, Marla, Judith. Yes, are you paying attention or no?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
yes.
Yes. Okay, well, let's see. Now let's practice this conversation. Let's see, it's gonna be Marla and Julio. Marla, you're going to be Sandra. Julio, you're going to be John. Okay, start
Okay.
reading, please.
Finally, it's hard to get hold of you.
Sure, not that easy to reach either.
You spend a lot more time on the phone than I do.
That's that's because I get more calls.
You just talk more anyway. I was calling before. Cause me boss had free tickets to the Sting concert tonight.
Okay, stop, Julio. It's me boss or my boss?
My boss.
My boss. Okay, thank you. Continue, Marla.
Oh, great. What's time?
Well, it's too late now. He gave them to someone else.
Oh no. Why did you send me a text message?
Okay, one more time. Julio, the pronunciation is gave.
Gave.
Gave, okay,
Okay,
gave
okay.
to someone else. Correct. Okay, now let's see. Let's continue with the exercise B. Pay attention. It says, now look at these sentences. Can you find sentences in the conversation with a similar meaning? Number one, we have John. I spend less time on the phone than you. Number two, Sandra, you get fewer calls than I do. And three, John, I talk less than you do. What you are going to do, you're going to read again the conversation, and I want you to find similar sentences with this information, and I want you to underline the sentences that you find, okay? So let's do the activity, please. Find similar sentences in the conversation.
Mm,
Mm.
Ahí les voy a poner.
Are you ready?
Me falta una.
You need one.
Yes.
Some more.
Okay, ready?
No, espérame.
Creo que ya.
You think so? Okay.
Think so?
I think so.
I think so. I think so. Okay.
Ready, Marla, Judith, Aide?
Ready.
Ya casi. Espérame.
Yes. Okay. Remember, they don't have to be the same. They have to be similar with these ones.
Ah, yo le estaba.
Okay, number one says, John, I spend less time on the phone than you do. What is a similar sentence in the conversation?
It's
Why
hard to get
didn't
all of you.
Okay, let's see. Wait a second. Okay, Julio.
why didn't you send me a text message?
No.
Is similar? No.
It's hard to get all of you, and you're not that easy to reach either.
No, it's not rich either. No. Judith, what do you have?
Oh.
Sandra, that's because a year less call.
Oh.
We are with
John,
the number one. Number one. I spend less time on the phone than you.
Yo spend a lot of more time on the phone than I do.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
A lot more time on the phone. Yes, you spend. That is the number one. Yes, we have John. Number two, Sandra says you get fewer calls than I do.
That's because I get more calls.
Yes, I get more calls. And number three, I talk less than you do.
I tell more.
You just talk
You do
more.
Yes.
more.
I talk more anyway. I was calling before cursing my boss.
It's just that part. You just talk more, and that's it. You just talk more. Okay, pay attention. Here in letter B, we have I just spend less time. Okay, let me look for another color. It says I just spend less time on the phone than you do. And the opposite is you spend a lot of time on the phone than I do. Then Sandra in letter B says you get fewer calls than I do. In the reading is I get more calls, so it's the opposite as you can see. Number 3, exercise B. I talk less than you do. Reading, the opposite is you just talk more. But as you can see, once again, we're using comparative adjectives and we're using less and we're using more. And we're going to start with the grammar chart so you can understand better this part. So let's continue with the grammar chart and also I have some examples. Pay attention to the exercise 3. We have the grammar chart. We have more, less, and fewer. It says that we're going to use countable nouns, uncountable nouns, and we're talking about verbs. So the first column, it says countable nouns. I want to change the color. Give me a second. I just, okay. Countable nouns. It says, I get more calls than you, or I get more calls than you do. You get fewer calls than I do. Pay attention to this word. We have calls. Calls, it's a countable nouns because we can count the calls. A phone call, 2 phone calls, 3 phone calls, 4 phone calls, etc. They are countable. So for countable, we're going to use more or fewer. Yes? Once again, I get more calls than you, more, or the opposite, you get fewer calls than I do. Once again, we have a countable noun that is calls. The second column says uncountable nouns. If you pay attention, we have time. Time. Okay, time is an uncountable noun. I'm sorry. We can count the hours, seconds, minutes, but we cannot count time. So with uncountable nouns, we're going to use the words more or less. It says, I spend more time on the phone, or you spend less time on the phone. Okay, so we are talking about time. Time is uncountable. One more time, we're going to use more or less. Then on column number 3, we have verbs. She talks more, he talks less. Okay, the verb is talk. Okay, he talks more than he does, or the opposite. He talks less than she does. So when we're talking about verbs, we're going to use more or the opposite, less. So remember that with verbs and with uncountable nouns, we're going to use more or less. When we are talking about countable nouns, one more time, we're going to use more and fewer. So that is the difference, okay? Do you understand the grammar chart or not?
Kind of.
I have an exercise here, I guess. Okay, so let's pay attention here. It says more and fewer with countable nouns. Well, here our nouns are books and letters. They are countable, okay? We can count the books, a book, 2 books, 3 books, 4 books, etc. Letters, we can count the letters. A letter, 2 letters, 3 letters, 4 letters, etc. They are countable. Remember, we can use more or we can use fewer. That is the opposite. I have some examples. Alicia reads more books than David. And David reads fewer books than Alicia. Alan writes more letters than Joaquin, or Joaquin writes fewer letters than Alan. Once again, remember it's more and fewer because we're using countable nouns. Yes, we have books, we have letters. Okay, now uncountable nouns. With uncountables, we need more or less. We're using money and free time. They are uncountable, okay? Example, I spend less money than you do. Or you spend more money than I do. Lucy has more free time than Janet, or Janet has less free time than Lucy. Once again, we're using uncountable nouns. Remember, we cannot count the money, we cannot count the time. We're talking about free time. That's the reason why we're using more or less, because they are uncountable. Now let's talking about verbs. Let's talk about activities. Well, here I'm using sleep and talk. So when we're using verbs, we want to use more or less to compare. Example, I sleep less than my daughter does. Or the opposite, my daughter sleeps more than I do. I'm comparing an activity, remember. Laura talks more than Simon. So Simon talks less than Laura. Remember, we're comparing what? An activity. We have a verb. That's why we're going to use more or less. Now, is it clear now? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, once again, remember, with countable nouns, we're comparing countable things. We're comparing books and letters. They are countable. On the second part, we are comparing the money that we spend and the free time that we have. Remember, money and free time, they are uncountable. That's the reason why we're using less or more. And at the end, we're comparing an activity, sleep and talk. So with activities, we're going to use more, we're going to use less, okay? So if you wanna take a picture or if you want to take notes, you can tell me, please. Give me a second. Instead, is here. Yes, if you wanna take a picture, you can take a picture or
Yeah.
yes. So it was this part and it was this one.
Okay.
Yes, if you wanna take another one.
Yeah.
Yes. Ready, Julio?
Yes.
Yes. Well, let's do this. Here above, we have an exercise. It says make 3 true statements using the following cues. You're going to write 3 sentences. I mean, you're going to complete these sentences using your personal information. You're going to use the words in parentheses. You can use more or fewer, more or less. Pay attention. Number 1, it says get emails, letters. For example, you can say, I get more emails than letters. Yes? Or the opposite. Maybe you can say, I get fewer emails than letters. Okay? So that's what you're going to do. So write down 3 sentences, please. You can use more or you can use fewer or less. Use the words in parentheses. Okay? Complete the sentences. These 3 sentences, please. Okay, ready? Yes? Okay, so let's see number 1, Aide.
I get fewer emails,
Fewer
fewer email that letters.
than letters. Okay, number 2, Julio.
Use a phone on,
I use
I use phone on weekday, less than weekend.
No, I use the phone, and after phone, you need to use more or less.
And use phone less.
I
I use phone less on weekdays than weekends.
than on weekends.
Than on weekends.
Yes. Number 3, Judith.
I spend more. I spend more money in cell phone than I spend more that money in cell phone. No?
One more time. I spend
Are you saying
I spend
more money than in
more
cell,
money, and
money
then
and then in cell phone?
give me a second. You're saying
I spend money more cell phone than regular cell phones.
Okay, let's continue with it. I spend more money.
I spend more money than
More money, but you have to use a cell phone or regular phone
money cell phone
on.
on my cell phone
Uh-huh.
than regular phone
On.
on my regular phone.
Phone. Yes, like that. I'm on my regular phone. Marla, number 1.
More money.
And I get more. I get fewer emails than letters.
Letters. And letters. Okay. Thank you. Okay, questions about this exercise?
No.
No? Okay, well now let's continue with the student book. Okay, let's go to the student book.
I spend more money on my cell phone than on my regular.
Okay, now let's do the exercise 8. It says, what's your style of communication? Make through sentences, write more, less, or fewer. You're going to complete these sentences according to your personal information. You're going to use more, less, or fewer only, okay? Let's complete these sentences, please.
Ready.
Ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Ready?
Okay,
It's really
well, let's check. Let's start with number 1, Julio.
I use a regular phone, fewer than a cell phone.
Fewer. Why fewer?
Um,
Remember, we're going to use fewer with countable nouns.
oh, okay. More than a cell phone.
More than a cell phone. Yes, it could be more or less. Number 2, Aide.
I spend more time on the phone than my parents do.
Correct. And number 3, let's see, Marla.
When I am on the phone, I talk fewer than listen,
Fewer.
less than listen.
One more time. What are you using fewer? Pay attention again to the grammar chart.
Sí, estoy bien.
It says fewer with countable nouns. So when I'm on the phone, I talk
More.
It could be more or it could be less. Yes. And I listen. We have an action. Talk. Number 4, who did?
I make fewer
Fewer.
calls during the day than a night.
Correct. Number 5, Julio.
I get fewer phone messages than emails.
Yes. And number 6, Aide.
I do less text messaging than an instant messaging.
Yes. Number 7, Marla.
I write more letters than I did 2 years
Ago.
ago.
Correct. Yes. Okay. Questions about this activity?
No,
No questions.
no.
Let me see if I have another exercise here. I don't remember it. I have. Okay, pay attention here. Here. Pay attention to these sentences. It says Debbie made 5 phone calls last night and talked for 45 minutes. And John made 2 phone calls last night and talked for 30 minutes. This is the information that we have. Now we have some questions. Question number 1, who talked to more people last night?
John.
Now try to say the sentence.
Huh?
But tell me the sentence. John what? Pay attention. Who talked to more people last night?
John.
Debbie.
Debbie. Okay, so Debbie what?
She talked for 35 minutes.
Hey, we are not talking about time, if you pay attention. The question is who talked to more people last night? We're talking about an activity. So Debbie, what is the action?
Debbie
Make
called.
talk.
Debbie talked.
Told.
Talked to
Tomó
more
más
people than, what's the name of the other person?
5 minutes.
What's the name of the other person?
John.
John.
John. Yeah.
John.
Oops.
John. Baby tomó más.
Okay. So we have that David talked to more people than John. Okay. Who talked to fewer people?
John.
John.
Okay, so John.
Talked to
John.
fewer.
Talk it? No, it's not talk it. Talk.
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 John talk.
Talk
Fewer.
to
Fewer.
fewer people
Than who?
Debbie.
Debbie. Excellent. Question 3. Who spent less time on each call?
Debbie.
They.
Debbie spent
Are you sure?
less time than John.
Are you sure? Pay attention to the time you spend.
Debbie more spend.
The question is who spent less time?
Debbie spend more
For
time.
35 minutes.
Debbie.
Less time. Who spent less time?
Less time.
Debbie.
Debbie.
Debbie spent less time.
For 45 minutes.
No, try to understand. Try to understand the question. Who spent less time?
Debbie spent more.
Debbie spent less time.
1 minute. 1 minute.
John spent
Yes, John.
less time. John spent less time than David.
Excellent. John spent less time than Debbie. Correct, Julio. It's John. And the opposite, who talked more on the phone last night?
John. John
Uh,
talk
Who talked
David.
more?
John talk more.
David
Debbie, yes, Debbie.
Debbie
talk more
Talk
talk
on the
more
phone
than John.
Excellent. Debbie talked more on the phone than John.
More the phone than
Correct. You are correct. Questions about this exercise?
I don't have question.
Not yet. Okay, well, so I guess we finish with the lesson. Okay, yes. Well, this is the, yes, we finished with the lesson B. Well, lesson B, as you can see, we continue reviewing comparative adjectives. And remember, we're going to use more and less with verbs. I mean, when we are comparing activities and when we are using uncountable nouns. We're going to use more, fewer with countable nouns. And we also read a conversation in which John had some problems trying to get through Sandra, okay? So this was the lesson B. Do you have questions about lesson B, guys?
Me.
Yes, tell me, Julio.
Um, 3 grammar, more or less, fewer. The sentences 7.
Yes.
I write more. No es fewer.
Remember, it's with your personal information. You can say more or you can say fewer.
It's similar.
No, it's similar. It's the opposite. We have more and fewer.
It's countable.
More or less. Fewer is the opposite of more.
Okay.
And remember that you had to complete these sentences with your personal information. So you can say, I write more letters or I write fewer letters. It's with your personal information, remember.
Okay.
More or fewer?
Is more.
As I said before, it's with your personal information. You can use more or you can use fewer.
Personal information is
Yes,
fewer.
personal information.
Is fewer.
Yes, you can say fewer is correct. If you want to say more, is correct.
Okay. Yes, teacher.
Okay. Another question, guys? Questions?
No.
Oh. Okay, in that case, well, let's move to, okay, lesson C. Okay. Lesson C, as you know, it's about conversation strategy. Okay. In this case, the conversation strategy is dealing with interruptions. Okay. Exercise 1A says, how do you interrupt a conversation politely in your language? Okay, that's the first question. How do you interrupt a conversation politely in your language? So let's think about some expressions that we use in Spanish. Okay, let's think about expressions that we use in Spanish. When you're having a conversation with a friend, but you have to interrupt the conversation, what expressions do we use in Spanish? What expressions do we use in Spanish when we want to interrupt a conversation?
Hi.
Ahorita vengo.
What?
Espera,
Ahorita
ahorita vengo.
espérame. Ajá. Another.
Well,
Voy a tomar agua. No, ahorita regreso.
Voy a tomar agua. Ahorita regreso. Ajá.
Just a minute.
Now, in Spanish.
voy al baño.
Voy al baño. De repente, pues, ajá, y te vas.
Me habla mi
Mi
papá.
mamá,
Me hablan, ajá. ¿Qué más?
Es-
Tengo hambre.
espérate tantito.
Espérame, ¿qué es muy común? Espérame tantito, ¿ok? ¿Qué más? What is?
Me llegó un mensaje. Espérate.
Ajá, me llegó un mensaje, espera un momento, sí.
Ahorita regreso, voy a abrir la puerta.
Ajá, that is very common. Ajá, voy a abrir la puerta. Another,
Voy a comer.
voy a comer. No, estamos hablando de interrumpir, ¿no? De que vas a colgar.
Sí, por eso se interrumpí.
Voy a comer, vas a comer y dejas a la gente colgada en el teléfono.
Sí. Interrumpe la.
Ok.
Apagar el ventilador.
Déjame, ándale, sí, déjame apagar el ventilador.
Luego hace mucho ruido el ventis.
Ajá, sí.
Okay, well, so these are some expressions that we use in Spanish when we want to interrupt the conversation for a few minutes, okay, a few seconds. And here it said to use expressions like this. We have a short conversation here. We have the person A, person B. Okay, Aide, can you read letter A and Julio B, please?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I just a minute. Someone at the door. Can you hold on?
Okay, so we have just a minute or can you hold on? Okay, so we're gonna use this expression in order to interrupt the conversation for a moment, okay? Well, now here we have a conversation between Maria and Lucy, okay? It says, listen, what does Maria want to tell Lucy? Well, I'm gonna play the audio, listen to it, and follow the conversation in your books, please.
Okay.
Yes, let me look for the audio.
Page 102.
Listen.
Lesson 6. What were you saying? 1. Conversation strategy. Dealing with interruptions. A. Now listen. What does Maria want to tell Lucy?
Hello? Hi,
Hello?
Lucy. It's
Hi,
Maria.
Maria.
Hey, how are you
How are
doing?
you doing?
Great.
Great.
Guess
Good.
what? You remember that photo contest I entered? Yeah? Oh, just a minute. There's someone at the
There's
door.
someone at the door. So you will say it.
So, we're saying? Well, I won a trip to Mexico. No way! Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. I just
I just need
So, what were you saying? Well, it's a trip for two, and I was just calling to ask,
to ask.
do you want to come with me?
Do you want to come
Are
with
you
me?
kidding?
Are you
Of
kidding?
course.
Of course.
Okay, so question. What does Maria want to tell Lucy?
Maria to try to Mexico.
Maria, what?
I tried to Mexico.
A tribe or trip?
Trip, Mexico.
But Maria, but try to complete the idea. Maria
Tried to Mexico.
tribe, again, tribe or trip?
Se me olvida. Trip.
But you need a verb. Julio, what is your verb? What is the action? Maria.
Maria won a trip to Mexico.
Yes, she won a trip to Mexico. Correct. If you pay attention in this conversation, Lucy interrupts the conversation, but she's using some expression. Can you tell me the expressions that she was using to interrupt the conversation? What are the expressions?
Oh, sorry. Hold on a second.
Okay, hold on a second. What else?
Just a minute.
Okay, we have sorry. Hold on a second. We have one. Another one?
Oh, just a minute. There's.
Just a minute. Yes, we have another example. Just a minute. So, okay, these are the expressions that she is using to interrupt the conversation. So she goes and she does different things and then she comes back. When she comes back, she restarts the conversation again. Can you see the expressions that she is using in order to restart the conversation, to continue the conversation? What are the expressions?
It's a trip for two and
Listen, we're talking about expressions. What are the expressions that she's using in order to restart the conversation, to continue the conversation?
So what were you saying? What were you saying?
What were you saying? We have one. There is another expression.
I was just calling to ask, do you want to come with me?
There is another one. There is another one.
well, it's a trip for two.
Now there is another expression. Remember that she interrupts the conversation twice. And she restarts the conversation twice. So here we have in Lucy, she interrupts the conversation. Oh, sorry, hold on a second. So what were you saying? She restarts the conversation. Pay attention to the first part. Yeah, oh, just a minute. She interrupts the conversation. And then what is the expression that she uses?
She just need to switch phone.
Let's pay attention to the first part, to the first interruption. Pay attention to the first interruption. She's saying, oh, just a minute. And then she comes back. What she says?
There's someone at the door.
And then
at the door. So
You were saying?
Yes, is the expression. So you were saying? Okay, so these are the expressions that she's using. So as you can see, we have two examples of expressions that we can use to interrupt a conversation. Oh, just a minute. Oh, sorry, hold on a second. And we also have two examples of expressions that we can use in order to restart the conversation. So you were saying. So what were you saying? Okay, so she's interrupting and she's restarting the conversation. We have more information below. Pay attention here. We have a part that says notice. Notice how Lucy interrupts the conversation and comes back to it with expressions like this. Find examples in the conversation. So we have two columns. Number one says interrupting a conversation. Second part says restarting the conversation. Interrupting a conversation, we can say just a minute, just a second. Excuse me, just a second. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Could you hold on a second? Can you hold on a second? And if you want to restart the conversation, we can say, what were you saying? You were saying, where were we? And what were we talking about? Okay. So those are the expressions that we're going to use in order to restart the conversation. Okay, so let's repeat after me, please. We're going to start with expressions to interrupt a conversation. I'm going to read and you repeat after me. Let's begin. Just a minute.
Just a minute.
Just a minute.
Okay, one more time. Just a minute.
Just a
Just a
minute.
minute.
Just a minute.
Just a second.
Just a
Just
second.
a second.
Just a second.
Excuse me. Just a second.
Just a
Just a
second.
Yes,
Just a second.
I'm sorry. Hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
hold on
Hold
a
on a
second.
second.
Could you hold on a second?
Do you hold on a second?
Can you hold on a second?
Can you
Can
hold on a
you hold on
second?
a second?
Okay. Let's continue with the second column. We have expressions to restart the conversation, okay? Once again, let's repeat after me. What were you saying?
What were you
What were you
saying?
saying?
You were saying?
You were saying.
You were saying?
Where were we?
Where
Where
were
were
we?
we?
What were we talking about?
Where were we
What
talking
were we
about?
talking about?
Okay. Now let's pay attention. In exercise B, we have a pair word. It says, student A, think of some good news, then call and tell your partner the news. Student B, answer your partner's call. Interrupt and restart the conversation twice using the ideas below, then change roles. We're going to do the next. We're going to use this conversation as a guide. You are going to imagine that you're having a phone conversation with a friend, okay? And you're going to use one of these ideas in order to interrupt your conversation. You have
Okay.
situations, your dinner is burning, the bathtub is overflowing, you just spilled your coffee, your cell phone is ringing, and for example, here, hello, hi, Aide, it's Nancy. Hey, how are you doing? Great, guess what? Next Sunday, I'm going on a trip to Hawaii. Okay, just an example. And then Aide says, yeah, oh, just a minute, and you have the problem. My dinner is burning, okay? Hold on a second. Then you go and you continue. Okay, so you were saying, and you continue that conversation. Do you understand?
Yes.
So that's what you're going to do. So on a piece of paper, well, instead of writing the whole conversation, you can only change certain parts of the conversation. Remember, these are the situations. Your dinner is burning, the bathtub is overflowing, you spill your coffee, or your cell phone is ringing. Okay? That's what you're going to do. I'm gonna give you, how much time do you need? 2 minutes or 3 minutes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Sí.
Okay, you can use this conversation, only change the situations. Okay? Okay, so you have 3 minutes. And then you're going to read your conversation. Okay?
Conversation.
Los nombres como sean.
I said you're going to, no, you can change the names also.
Okay.
The names
Ya.
Lucy and Maria.
Yes, you're going to change the names and you're going to change the situation.
Okay, okay.
Are you ready?
No, teacher. No, no tengo pensamiento.
Compra una.
Okay, ready?
Espérame.
Teacher,
Yes.
all the conversation uh, only part.
You can use the whole conversation because you have to interrupt the conversation twice, remember.
Okay.
You only are going to change the situations. I mean the reasons why you interrupt the conversation.
Teacher, I go to the bathroom. Can
Yes,
I go to the... Thank
yes.
you.
Ready with your conversations?
No, no, tantito por ahí.
Yes.
Okay, let's wait for Aide.
I think so.
You think so? Okay. Did you finish, Judith?
Ahorita. 1 second.
Okay, okay.
Ready.
Ready? Okay, let's see. Let's start with, okay, Marla hasn't arrived yet. But let's start with Julio. Are you ready, Julio?
Yes.
Okay, can you start reading your conversation, please?
Yeah.
Ayúdame, Marla.
Lucy. Hello. Hi, Lucy. I'm Maria. What, Lucy? What you doing? What you doing? Maria. I'm to buy ticket. I go to try. Lucy. It's great. Where are you going? Maria. Well, I go to try a Mexico with my family. No way. I wanna go with you. Maria. Wait me. Turn off TV. It's noisy. Finish. Noisy is ruidoso, ¿no?
Yes. Okay, you were saying tribe. What is tribe?
Trip is
Trip.
trip.
You were saying tribe. Trip. Remember that. Okay, you interrupt the conversation, but remember that you had to restart the conversation again. So you forgot to restart the conversation only.
is turn off TV.
Yes, remember here are the instructions. Interrupt and restart the conversation twice. 2 times. So you need to continue with the conversation. Let's see, Aide, what you have.
Ay, mío. A ver. Yo hice con otros nombres. Marla y Aide. Marla, hi Aide. Aide, hi Marla. Marla, how are you doing? Aide, I agree. Marla, oh, it's good. Aide, just minute, I go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Aide, oh, ready. Are you dance? But Marla, but I don't dance. Yeah.
But you didn't restart the conversation either. You didn't use the expressions. We have the expressions here. What were you saying? You were saying. Where were we? What were we talking about? So once again, you are not following the instructions. Try to read the instructions carefully. It says interrupt and restart the conversation twice. So you have to do it 2 times. That's the reason why I said that you could use this conversation as a guide and you were going only to change the situations, I mean the reasons why you were going to interrupt the conversation, and that's it. But you didn't follow this, so let's see. Marla is not here. Who did? What you have?
Luisa. Hello, Pedro. Hi, Luisa. It's Pedro. Luisa. I wait me. The bathroom is overflowing. Pedro. Okay. Luisa. What were you saying? Pedro. I asked you to go movie yesterday. Luisa. Oh, just a minute. My cell phone is ringing. Ringing.
Huh?
Luisa. What were I saying? Pedro. I invite you to the movie tomorrow.
I'm what?
I invite to the movie tomorrow.
I want to invite you.
Invite you to the movie.
I want to invite you.
I want.
Invite you to the movies tomorrow.
See, I want to invite you
Invite you
tomorrow.
to the movies tomorrow. Yes.
Tomorrow.
Okay, Judith is the only one who is correct. Okay, if you pay attention, Judith interrupted the conversation twice. He restarted the conversation twice. Okay, so Judith is correct. She followed the instructions. So, oh, Marla hasn't come back yet. I want to listen to Marla. Okay, so once again, remember, this is about expressions that we can use in order to interrupt or restart a conversation. Pay attention here. When you want to interrupt a conversation, we can use these expressions. Just a minute, just a second, excuse me, just a second, I'm sorry, hold on, I'm sorry, hold on a second, could you hold on a second, can you hold on a second? And when you want to restart the conversation, we can say, what were you saying? You were saying, where were we? What were we talking about? And like that. Okay, Marla is back. Okay, Marla, we're waiting for you. Can you read your conversation, please?
It's very short, my conversation.
Okay. Go ahead.
Aide, hello. Julio. Hi, Aide. I'm Julio. Aide, how are you doing? Julio, I started it. Just a minute. Can you later?
Talk to you. Call me later. Or...
Call you later?
And then?
Aide, that's okay.
But you didn't restart the conversation. Marla.
It's interesting.
You didn't restart the conversation. Remember, here it says that we need to interrupt and restart the conversation twice. Yes. So you didn't follow the instructions. So Judith is the only one who did this activity in the correct form. So thank you, Judith. Okay, guys. Well, let's see. We don't have enough time. We have only like 5 minutes. Well, do you have questions about this part? About this conversation strategy? Questions?
No,
Doubts?
teacher.
No.
No, teacher.
Okay, so remember this is lesson C. This is conversation strategy. We are talking about expressions that we can use in order to interrupt or restart a conversation. We're going to stop here because we don't have enough time to see the second part. So let's talk about the homework. Okay, your homework is going to be lesson B. I mean pages 76, 77, And just the first part of lesson 6, 78. So remember 76, 77, and 78. Okay, only
Okay,
3
teacher.
pages. They are going to be your homework for next Saturday. Try to study and do your homework. Don't wait until the next class to do the homework in class. So